All right. Hello, everybody. I'm gonna be streaming here today a bit. We'll see how it goes. Decided to work a little bit on some of my illustrations to warm up before work, because later on I gotta do the actual comic pages. So right now, I just want to render some stuff. Lord knows I got more than enough of these unfinished illustrations that are just begging for my attention, because I'm literally gonna need them. In this case, I'm working on an illustration from my novel that I'm currently working on, because five five graphic novel series weren't enough. I was like, I have a morsel of free time, so here we are. Oh yeah, let me try something. I was experimenting a little bit recently by using some speckled brushes for my blending solution, and the results were actually quite nice, especially for like skin and stuff. Like it gives it a nice texture while blending. Even after all this time, after making the original blending brush for freaking almost, wow, it's almost 20 years ago now, and I'm still just figuring out all the stuff that I can do with it. So, you live, you learn, I guess. Yeah, it's not coughing, it's a Tourette syndrome. So for the longest time, I didn't even know what that was called. Like back in the day, I actually thought it was some sort of like an allergy or something that's like making me have breathing problems. Until my doctor was like, dude, you get Tourette's. I'm like, I was told by movies that Tourette's is just people cursing a lot, which I do, but I kind of write that off to the fact that I'm from Balkans, so it's kind of like in the genes. But yeah, that's the problem. Like this is mild right now. Like you should see me when I'm like really like properly inspired. Then it gets really bad. Like it's just there are times. Oh, the worst part is like when I get super inspired, right? And I'm like I figured out something really cool about the story that I'm working on, and then I try to explain it to my wife. But with the excitement, my Tourette goes just just nuts. And so immediately, like I'm trying to speak, but I can't because my tics are just constantly blocking me. And like every damn time, it's just like me going like, you know what, later, just later. Yeah, this is such a cool little trick. I honestly can't even imagine that it took me this long to start experimenting. Like ever since I've made my blending brush back in the day, like I've kind of been complacent with it. It's like, oh well, it blends colors really smoothly. It's good. It's perfect. You know, there's nothing more to add to it. And then recently, I started messing around with it on one of my last superhero covers. I started kind of trying to figure out if I could like make one that would like make that would blend in kind of a rough way because I was trying to blend in shapes on a bark of a tree, and the results were very nice. So I was like, okay, so it's time to fucking scratch that surface. So And yeah, this is a very nice way of kind of blending the shapes while kind of promoting some texture into it, and not not kind of reducing everything to just a clean textureless form, which really was a big problem for my work for the longest time. Because again, I've been very complacent with these brushes and just kind of like I made a thing, I was happy with the thing, and just like yeah, there's no room for improvement. Turns out there's always room for improvement. And the cool thing is like it still has the full functionality of the regular one. Man, this song is just really funny. I'm here drawing like a vampire queen fighting a swarm of vampires, and just the music's all getting all seductive and shit. Alright. Now I have predominantly blended it all in, and now I have to recreate some shapes, shape definitions and all that. Actually, now that I kind of want to try a, kind of want to try doing like a character portrait real quick to just to just see how far I can take this. In fact, I think I'm gonna do that. That didn't take long for me to get distracted. So let's just let's copy merge just so that I have some sort of an image size. File new. Oh, what the fuck? How big is this? Jesus Christ. Image size. Oof. All right. Alright, let's make the background a bit darker. And now to do that thing I do, and that is throw a lot of blobs and hope they look like something in the end. Alright, what do I want to do with... I'm not a fan of just flat... Oh, what? How do I create so much detail so quickly? Smart use of brushes. I do, for the longest time, I've been making my own brushes, and once you get into it, you realize you can do a lot of stuff in a very simplified, streamlined way, where you create simple illusions of, complex things. Like you'll see when I do it here. Like my whole method is basically um, using blobs of color, building up stuff fast. morning, evening from Croatia. Although technically for me it's kind of like maybe noon-ish. Have you seen my work in Hearthstone? No, you might have seen it in Sunstone, but not in Hearthstone. Yeah, of like cards and stuff like that. The only stuff that I've done was back early in the in my career was a whole lot of Warhammer cards. That was a thing back then. I don't know if it still is. Hmm. My warm-ups are rarely finished. Like most of the stuff that I do, if is it's either for my comics, and then it's kind of like on one of the. I know what I should be finishing, but I'll do that a bit later. It just now occurred to me that I should be finishing the Sunstone 8 cover, and then just could have tried these brushes on that. Yeah, I'm not going to like people ask, but I'm done. Like I'm absolutely done with work for hire. I have no more interest in superheroes, no more like I will do stuff for indies every now and then just for the fun of it. But yeah, mainstream superhero stuff, I just no. Hmm. Hmm. Plus, there's a great benefit, when you're working for your own stuff. Like if you are successful at that, the payouts are much better also. Like not that I was paid, poorly by DC and stuff like that, but it's just it's a nice little bonus. Well, I certainly love my ideas more, and I don't have to tiptoe around them. Today, it's kind of occurred to me that we live in an odd age of hot takes, where it's like you really aren't allowed to write anything that's complex and layered. You can't write people making proper mistakes in a lot of these comics because everybody will judge it immediately on the mistake and just kind of formulate final opinions on everything. Where it's like, back in the day, you could have a character make a mistake, a bad one, and grow from it. But nowadays it's like, oh, what's that character made a mistake? Here's how that mistake is an irrevocable stain on the character, and also, I don't know, morally makes the writer or an artist morally repugnant somehow. It's like fucking hell. Such a weird industry. But like I said, I have the benefit of just kind of bailing. And my friends with Dale Raposa, I've basically communicated with him 2 or 3 times, I think, on the internet, I don't know the guy. He, we were both on DeviantArt. That's about it. That's I commented on a few of his works. He did the same on mine, and that's about it. Yeah, that's what. It's not just that makes them so good. It's what makes them interesting. Characters fucking up properly, and then learning from that. My God, like that's my bread and butter. I live for that shit. Having characters have genuine, actual flaws, not they care too much and that's their flaw. Like that's not a flaw. That's nonsense. You kind of have to. You have to let the characters fall. You have to have them. You know. You have to have them make the mistake because without a mistake, there is no character arc. There is no need to learn. There is no need to improve. And yeah, I will rather work on my own stuff, have the freedom of writing long, layered, and very rewarding character arcs. And thankfully I have an audience that actually appreciates it. So nice. Uh, you probably found my stream because YouTube, like if you follow a lot of art streams, YouTube pretty much I think classifies my stuff as art streams, which they are. So it's kind of one of those. Like I stumble upon a lot of art streams that way. Like recently I started getting into ZBrush a lot, and like ever since I did that, like I saw a few ZBrush streams, and then after that YouTube was like, "Oh, we see what you're all about." I'm like, "You're not wrong." Yes, of course. Marion is a profoundly flawed character, but every single one of them are. They all make wrong choices. They all make their own big ass fuck ups, but then they have to work to fix it. And that's fun. That's interesting to read about. Thank you, Bethany, and best of luck with your own work. Of course, my main rule in writing is this: everybody is a fuck up. Sounds funny, but it's the truth of life. Everybody out there, you, me, everybody else, we are all fuck ups. We have our cool moments when things line up for us and we're like, we know what I know what I'm doing, of course. Look at me, I'm fucking flexing here. I was like, oh, look at me, look at me just casually painting stuff. I know it's good. Yeah, okay, cool. I know it now. It's a result of over 20 years of failing, you know. And that's the thing. Like we're all fuck ups, but we all kind of learn how to deal with our own fuck uppery. Man, this stream is not gonna pop up anywhere with me just cursing like that all the time, but it is the truth. Fundamental truth of human nature is that we are all just a mess. We're all kind of trying to find our way through things. This is why we're so eager to find somebody to show us the path, because at the end of the day, we're all kind of tiptoeing in the dark. And if somebody says it with enough confidence that they know the way, you're gonna be like, maybe he knows the way. Or maybe she knows the way. Or maybe they know the way. Yeah, but at the end of the day, everybody's just kind of doing their best to, keep it together. I didn't get, the to season 4. What was the last? I think the last one I saw was the season 3. Yeah, 3. Yeah, of course. The basically the core of Sunstone isn't the BDSM. BDSM is a hobby of what these characters do, but it's not all they do. It's not who they are. It's just something they like, and it's also a very strong metaphor for some things in life. And it enables me to write some very interesting situation. Am I work? Yeah. So basically, I was gonna actually start finishing either this one or this one. And I kind of made like a few strokes of progress on this one, but then I was like, I kind of want to try something with this brush here. Yeah. Listen, BDSM is nothing but sexual LARPing. It's a bunch of people working way too hard for their orgasm. So that's what a hobby is. Working way too hard for something that you like. And if you have somebody to do it with, oh boy, it's even better. Like any other hobby. Yeah. Uh, I've seen season two. I really like that one. Like when it took off, like it was really interesting. Season three, I wasn't that crazy about it, but it had its really strong moments. Like honestly, Stranger Things are hard carried by the character writing. Like these characters, they feel normal. They feel like people. Like you see them and they're all just a mess. And that's again going back to my whole thing. That's the stuff that I recognize immediately. I'm like, yeah, look at them. They're fuck ups. They're trying to make the best out of this situation. None of them know what they're doing, but you know, they'll find a way somehow. What do I watch? Currently, nothing really religiously. I'm kind of just jumping between shows and movies and stuff, trying to like. Uh, there's also one more thing for me is like I have one of the things that I had a problem with back in the day. I kind of fell into the trap of internet cynicism for a few years. But that was back in the day when like Nostalgia Critic and all those channels were really big. And it's like, it was so popular to kind of be the highbrow hater on things because it's like, oh, like it gave you that feeling of moral superiority to just kind of go like, oh, this is shit, this is bad. And I kind of got swallowed up with that, like most people did back then, who were looking for that kind of entertainment online. And then one day I realized that I've become a cynic. And the problem with becoming a cynic is it poisons every aspect of your existence. You literally find yourself being unable to enjoy anything. Like it just like there was stuff I was watching. I was like just preemptively, like you say you're not going into it to judge it, but like you're already coded. Like that part of you already broke. And I realized that at some point, and I was like, fuck, I gotta like actively try and fucking shake that off. And it took a while, but I did. And then over time, I realized, oh, you know what? Not every piece of escapism is made to astound you or to make you question all the things that you know. So no, escapism is, for the vast majority of it, it's the fast food for the brain. You're supposed to treat it like that. It's there to just kind of help you unwind. Life's already tough enough. Chill, relax. What's that? There's a plot hole here. Fuck it. And I've adopted that approach to other people's creative efforts. Like not for my own. For my own, I'm fucking terribly critical, self-critical. Like it's an endless pit of self-criticism. But at least I have other people's works to kind of unwind. And those things I will often enjoy completely uncritically and just kind of relax and chill and just be like, yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna watch this. I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna listen to this. I don't care, you know. And it had helped me. It helped me kind of, you know, well, balance myself mentally because if you don't have anything to escape the reality, sometimes like the stress will get you. And unfortunately, it's one of those things that I've noticed over time. Is like we still live in the time of boundless cynicism, of just like I said, of these endless hot takes. Like everything is taken with such scrutiny. When it's like, I call it the 50 Shades syndrome, right? It was so popular to dunk on 50 Shades. And here's my crazy idea on 50 Shades. Like, there were so many people going like 50 Shades is a bad representation of BDSM. Meanwhile, I'm here going like I don't think they were going for representation. I think the idea was to write a semantic piece of escapist fiction, something that's fun. I don't look at I don't look for 5-star cuisine when I go to McDonald's. I know what I'm there for. I'm there for a McDonald's burger. It's crappy, it's small, but it has that unique flavor that you sometimes just crave and go like, I want that. you know. And unfortunately today, these days, like everybody wants to kind of show off on the internet that they are the smart person, that they are right, that they are a profound intellectual. So let me tell you why this episode of My Little Pony is, it's like it's it's a little deranged these days because it's just negativity all the way. Meanwhile, I'm here being like, I liked it. I watched the thing and liked it. Hmm. Oh, thank you, BC. Did I finally watch season 3 of Harley Quinn? I didn't. I didn't have the time. Recently, like I've been up to my eyeballs in work, so I didn't have the time to just sit down and watch anything. I still have to watch also the newest season of What We Do in the Shadows, and I love that show, but I didn't have the time for it. I haven't even tried Westworld yet, but again, that's one of those things. It's like all this time, like there's so much really good stuff and fun stuff, and it's like the only thing you're missing is the time for it. Like yesterday, I sat down and started watching what's it called, Cyberpunk Edge Runners, because I really love the Cyberpunk game. I've played it twice, and now I'm playing it for the third time. And like, I've watched like 5 episodes maybe, and had to stop. I gotta move. I gotta go. Yeah, no. Here's the thing. Of course, you you of course it's you see when it's like something where the artist didn't enjoy it making, and sometimes you won't even see it. I mean, apparently 90% of Marvel movies, artists didn't really enjoy making those because oh boy. But at the end of the day, like you gotta basically just like that was my approach. Is like I'm just gonna treat it like this. It's here for to entertain me. I'm gonna give it a chance. And I mean, I'm gonna give it a genuine chance. I'm not gonna fucking like if it doesn't work for me, I'm just gonna fucking bail. I'm gonna go like, oh well, I'll have to find something else. But, yeah, I'm just I'm blobbing the shapes right now. Like this is like the most generic thing possible that I'm doing right now, but it's mostly because I want to do some tests with some brushes. Now, as for the light, what do I want it? Do I want it? To strunk. Yeah, and that's my attitude towards the thing. Is like if it grabs me, awesome. If it doesn't, I'm just gonna go and find something else. But I'm not gonna complain about it anymore. I used to be when I was younger. I was like, oh my god. But nowadays, I realize that I will rather spend, like, I will spend my time talking about the stuff that I love. I will not give the stuff that I dislike the time of day or my breath. Both are too precious. See ya, rocking. This method of work is so weird. Like it has a very similar process to sculpting, and it has this incredibly ugly phase, and then you get to the blending and combining, and then you realize, oh, it's like working with oils. They have Sunstone in the Houston library. Let's go. You'd think they ban it. Yeah, I also when I'm drawing, like I will often put on somebody else's art stream and just kind of like it's kind of a mood, like you're in, I don't know, maybe it's something like that feeling of when you're a kid and you're in a class and it's like art classes and shit, and it's like everybody's drawing and you're drawing. It's just, I don't know. There there's a mood to that, okay? I just have to figure out a name for that mood. Oh, it's still a weird blob of colors. Wait, we're not anywhere near that yet. Now, let's see. Okay, I wanna add because right now basically my whole thing is I just wanna kind of add as many of the colors that I want on it beforehand, because once the blending starts, uh, how do you pronounce my name? You don't. Listen, just don't worry about it. It profoundly amuses me when people mispronounce my name. It's a long running meme. In fact, it's gotten to the point where on my Twitch I usually tell people that my name is Schnitzel Sidekick because it's just, close enough. All right. This is looking properly weird and uncomfortable. Also known as according to plan. No, I am done with superheroes forever. I'm just not gonna be bothering with those comics anymore. It was fun for a while, but I got better stuff to do. See ya, Greg. Yeah, it's like I have too many stories to tell, and I can't like I've hit I've hit 40s. Like I don't have time to work for hire anymore. Like I want my legacy to be stuff that I made that I owned, and that's my own stories. No, I would not consider making fan arts anymore. Like I'm done. Superheroes and I have parted ways. Yeah, it's just I'm done. Yeah, it's like I got stuff to do. I have stories to tell. Sunstone alone has like 20 chapters planned, so it's like that's 20 books, and I'm just on right now like halfway through book 8. Like, I have 12 more books of just Sunstone. Then there's 5 books of fine print. There's 3 or 4 books of Death Vigil. There is Achilles Shield Maidens, which I don't even know how many fucking books that's gonna be. There is the Queen and the Woodborn, right? I don't I think that one's gonna be like 2 or 3 books, 3 most likely. So it's like that's oh my god, that's like over 30 books for me to make still. Hmm. Oh, no, 30. How many? 12. About 20 something books. Hmm. Fine print is going great. I am about to start the new update on Patreon tonight, and then once that's done, next year I'm publishing Sunstone 8 and Death Vigil. Oh, sorry, Fine Print 2. Then after that, plans are Death Vigil 2, and I'm gonna be working on Achilles Shield Maidens 1 because I got a giant robot itch and I gotta scratch it. And then we'll see if that finds an audience. If it doesn't, it just gets fucking axed, and I'm moving on to the next project. Alright, time to mess around. whatever. I've given them for free. Most of them are on my DeviantArt. But the thing with brushes is like, honestly, the best brushes you can ever get are the ones you make for yourself. Because a brush is only as good as your work method is what it is. I've actually made tutorials on how to make these brushes, also here on my YouTube, just for that very purpose. It's like you could take the brushes that are on DeviantArt. There's a massive pack of them. I was like fucking, I don't know, 100 brushes at least. But the real trick is if you know how to make them yourself, you literally will never use anybody else's brushes because they're just not gonna be of any real use to you. Like, it's fun. Like, I remember back in the day when I was younger, I downloaded the brushes from this concept artist, Matthias Verhassen. He, I can pronounce his name just like everybody else can pronounce mine, so fuck it. But it's like, I downloaded his brushes. I'm like, oh my god, it's his brushes, let's go. Because he was giving it away, right? And I'm like, let's use them. And it's like, shit. I don't know. It's like, because, you know, they're dependent on the method. I don't know what Girl Genius is. Is that a webcomic or? What version of Photoshop do I? The most up-to-date version of Photoshop CS3. That's funny because this Photoshop is about 18 years old now. I use a very old Photoshop. I used to do like for a while. I downloaded and subscribed to the new version, right? But they just kept changing stuff pointlessly, and it annoyed me. I'm like, you know what? I don't need this. I don't need this hassle. Because here's the real kicker with Photoshop. They kind of stopped adding a lot of useful stuff for artists a long time ago, so it's just kind of. Oh yeah, so it is like a webcomic, right? Yeah, and that's also the thing. Like, I hate renting software. Like, gee, ugh. Like, it's such a fucking cheap way of getting money. Instead of, you know, hey, we made some cool updates. You want to buy them? Fuck yes, sell me your cool updates. But as it is right now, it's like, oh, I don't know. Here's the subscription. Here's a bloat of stuff that you're never gonna use. Meanwhile, for years, I'm like, hey, Adobe, can we get the option to make brushes with multiple images in them? Brushes that contain color information, other stuff? Yeah, no, we're just gonna be doing that. Okay. I did try them. They're fine. It's just they're bloated and more system heavy, and there's so much stuff that they just change for the sake of change. I still remember to this day when they changed what was in this old version of Photoshop, right? You have a thing called when you have a brush, it's called other dynamics, and that's basically pressure sensitivity. Uh, in the new versions of Photoshop, they changed that thing to transfer. Why? Nobody knows. They changed it to change it. Honestly, I only used this version and my CS6. Those were the last ones that I actually purchased. And then after that, I kind of stopped. Because none of the newer ones really did anything for me. And I use CS6 because this right here that I'm doing, the Liquify, CS6 has a much stronger one. CS6 has basically the same Liquify that you can have in the newest version, except the newest version they kind of added some fancy little tools just to pretend like there's some content. There's not. It's just heard somewhere there's no such thing as motivation or inspiration, just quirks where some people are insane in a way they derive pleasure from constant practice. I mean, there could be something to that. Honestly, I've never really even considered that. I just, call it my endless cycle of self-loathing, but sure, I suppose I am masochistic in that way. uh, of physical copies of the comics I make on Webtoon. On Webtoon, I have two comics. One is Death Vigil, and that's been in print for ages. And the other one is The Queen and the Woodborn, and that's gonna go to print once it's done. Once the first book worth of comic is done, then I'm gonna do that. Speaking of Queen and the Woodborn, that's gonna be my next month's update for both Patreon and it's gonna go to Webtoon. Nice. Thank you, thank you, Munterscheid. Ma- Munterscheid, Christina. What's my favorite comic I've worked on so far? Sunstone. Just seeing the thing find its own path. Seeing it's like seeing myself going from what the fuck, this is a romance comic. I can't make a romance comic. What am I thinking about? To oh no, I think I can make a romance comic. To fuck yeah, I can make a romance comic. It's very entertaining for me. It's like there's so many really fun memories connected to that comic that yeah, it's really hard for anything to beat it. Plus, it was also my first big success of a comic, and that one I actually take a lot of pride for. Like I don't feel proud for Harleen. Like it's just me standing on the shoulders of giants, going like, "Hey, look, I made it pretty and shiny." I don't take any ownership or pride over that comic. But Sunstone, yeah. When did Ali and Lisa get married? I mean, they're married from the very first page of Sunstone. The whole thing is literally them, Lisa writing about how they met and how it all happened. But as far as the wedding itself, it's gonna happen in volume 20 because that volume is gonna be strictly about that their wedding and all the silliness that happens around that. Hell yeah!
I've been right here for a long time. I've seen your dreams in the night sky. You know I want you to be mine. But you won't make it that easy. You're not the type to fall in deep. You know that really want me.
Yeah, the problem with those streams is like, um, I do those when like I kind of make a piece like within one stream. And like these days, recently I've been kind of just like a lot of my streams were just kind of me finishing up stuff. So it wasn't really something that worked well for like a summarized, sped up video. Whenever I do something that works for that, like I can just make it. But right now I'm just kind of doing some experimentations, really. So yeah, Sir Liv. I know it's all like what I do here are just kind of explorations. And when I'm doing these, like I really like to just work in a very kind of a disorganized way. It like for the longest time I had a problem where if I tried to structure something and if I tried to sketch something out, like I would rob the image of its immediacy, of its spontaneity, and really I would just sap out all the soul out of it because I would overthink the shit out of it, you know. And this method kind of really clicked for me, where it's like, yeah, I just kind of throw things at the canvas and see what sticks, you know. Like this is shit right now. No, semi-competently done shit, but it's shit. Like this is nothing. It's like, oh hey, it's a character staring into nothing. It's like you could get this out of an AI. You know what I mean? But it's a decent enough exercise for some things that I'm trying to, you know, explore. But you know, it's um, it's at least fun to make. Because right now the whole purpose of this one was I wanted to test out some things with the smudge tool and the application of my kind of let's call it skin brush that I made, and I wanted to see how that would work on a more nuanced like it. I can do fun things with it, you know, on something like here, you know, on a vampire skin where I can just kind of go, you know, I can go kind of with the rougher thing, and then you know I can apply then the details on top of that. This Russia? No. Well, you mean am I from Russia? No. Hmm. Hmm. Thank you, Miss Lords. When did I start on the comic business? Is there any tips for beginners? uh, so I wanted to make comics for the longest time. Uh, where are we? Milky Way galaxy. I am in Croatia. Uh, but yeah, what I was saying was I started working on comics. Working on comics. I wanted to work on comics since late high school. Uh, I actually got into comics during college times when I was very actively started posting stuff online. As far as tips of getting into comics, well, first of all, you post stuff online, you get people to see your stuff. But it depends what you're after in comics. If you're after creator-owned stuff, uh, a relentless online presence and persistence with a webcomic format is gonna get you farther than anything else. But when I say relentless, I do mean relentless. And you gotta understand, you're not gonna be making a dime for a long while. But if you get good at it and if you get successful at it and if you find an audience, it will kind of pay itself back, you know, and it's kind of one of those personal risks. You're taking a risk on your own skill, you know. Yeah, that's when I got. That's when I got. That's when I committed to doing comics and gave up on my long-lasting dream of becoming a paleontologist. Sooner or later, we have to let go of our dinosaurs, except for the few proud ones who keep the tradition going. Is there any career I recommend if you want to make comics? I mean, I, I, I did a lot of stuff that wasn't comics to pay the bills, and then every free moment was me making comics. I used to do several jobs at the same time. But like, if you want to get into comics, like, honestly, there's nothing I can recommend. Like, you just listen. If you wanna do this stuff, if you wanna make comics, if you wanna make art and all that stuff, like it's all interconnected. Let's say you want to make comics, right? You can't make comics right then and there, but let's say you can draw. Well, there's your answer. You know, you're gonna take commissions, you're gonna take little gigs. Hey, I need a design for a tattoo. Hey, I need a drawing of this. I need a drawing of that. I need a logo. Just make sure everybody pays you. Oh, I have thrown away more paintings than in my life than some have painted in their whole lives. Like it's weird. Like one of the things that a lot of artists develop over time, especially artists who are trying to improve consistently, we develop an unhealthy level of self-criticism and downright self-loathing for our art, and we have problems seeing old art of our own. Like it's just, oh my god. And so yeah, I have. There were times when I would just throw out entire boxes, just relentlessly, like no looking back, just tossing them away. Yeah, that greatly depends on how what your experiences end up being with it as a job. Like I went into comics and like I had bad days and I had great days. I had burnouts, but over time you either find your way or you keep looking for it or you give up. There's only three options. And I almost gave up. Not gonna lie. There was a time where I was literally one day away from giving up on comics and just moving to video games. And I'm very glad I didn't, because I've done video game work as well. It's just nice. Yeah, you're on the right path. The only way to fuck up that path is to give up. Because listen, I'm gonna let you in on a secret. Like this is the path, right? You're gonna fail. Then you're gonna fail some more. You're gonna fail some more. You're gonna fail some more. You're gonna fail and fail and fail and fail, 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 fail. Here's the thing with failure. It makes very strong foundations for success. The entirety of my personal success as an artist, as a storyteller, as a comic maker, is built on a foundation of nothing but failures. So if you fail, don't take it personally. That's the part of the process. Like that's not you fucking up. That's how it works. It's just how it is. Also, don't be an idiot like me. Like, while it's very nice that I can now do stuff like this without any reference and just enjoy the freedom of painting, if I had used references more and not bought into the bullshit that some people kept pushing back in the day, that using references is somehow cheating, I would have been so much better right now. So, don't fall for that nonsense. I unfortunately did, and it had stunted my growth for a long time. Oh, hey, Vulcan. Thank you for the support. And yeah, I've been streaming for a long time, but mostly on Twitch. Although like right now, I kind of feel like doing a bit more of YouTube stuff, just because on YouTube I can leave these streams here and just have them be here just for kind of memories. Hmm. Uh, they're too pale and under-rendered right now. This is kind of one of those weird stages of work where it's like it looks like something. It's kind of in the neighborhood of it, kind of looking all right. But the thing is, like, there's so many things that are just preventing it from properly shining. And that's the kind of a wall that I'm kind of trying to, practice my way through. Because it's like I will find a solution for it, but the idea is to find it faster. See, I'd like to agree with that, but we also thought we were gonna have flying cars by now. And I don't know. I don't know if we have the perseverance for that. Exactly. Workload efficiency is crucial. Because one of the things that I've a long time ago, accepted about myself, I'm not an artist. I am a storyteller. As a storyteller, I don't have the luxury of making a thing look perfect. I gotta make it look good and I gotta make it fast so that I can make the next thing. And sometimes I will take these moments where I kind of practice, but even then, like at the end of the day, I will take what I've learned and I will strive to simplify it, to clean it up and just move to the next thing.
Been walking along this road for so long now, thinking of ways to tell you I was sad.
it's one of those things that kind of stuck with me from my days of painting traditionally, and then I don't use a lot of layers. Like I don't always use one layer, but when I'm trying to kind of be efficient about a thing, I do a lot of stuff. Like the thing that I will usually separate on the next layer is like if it's the next character and stuff like that, or if I'm kind of experimenting with shadows and then I'm gonna make a multiply layer for that. But generally, I'm just gonna, try to keep the layer count low because easier to manage. And also I'm sloppy, so yeah. Layers are for people who get to name layers. You know, me, it's just listen.
Some things they just don't last, and other things don't feel right. Because although we had the best years of our life, some paths move so distant, and some sparks lose their light. Wait now, can I know? Is it too late to stop this show? Wait now, hold me close.
One of these days, I'm gonna have to find me some time and just take a bunch of references and start copying, just to kind of recalibrate, because I've sort of forgotten some tones of skin under certain illuminations. One of the methods I used to do when I was younger would be basically I would take a photo, load it into Photoshop, and then just start color picking to see where things are. That did wonderful things for me. How's Linda? Linda's asleep, but she's doing great. Yeah, I've actually read the first issue of Sylvester's Batman. It's a good story. It's a good comic, like proper superhero stuff. It's cool. In fact, I think my last superhero thing that I'm gonna be doing is that I promised was I have like one more cover variant to do for that. I've done two of them, one for DC, one for Top Cow, and then I got one more, and then that's all she wrote. Well, that's all he drew. Let me try something. Yeah, this is kind of crap. Let's see. What was it gonna? Oh yeah, where did I put that cover? Gotta. Is it in this one? Yeah. I gotta finish this cover. No, I'm doing Top Cow covers are something else. I don't consider Top Cow stuff as superhero stuff. I always have Top Cow's back in the same way that Top Cow has mine. Hey, Lucifer. Oh, I am doing great. Kind of noodling around some works today, just trying to figure out. Honestly, I'm getting myself in the mood because I gotta make some pages. I gotta make at least 2 pages of the comic today before going to sleep. And sometimes the best way to get around it is just to uh, get into that drawing mode. Hey, Midart. On good terms, Top Cow. On best terms, literally inseparable. Unless they kick me out. Okay, it's this one. What's this? Haven't worked on this piece for so long that I've forgotten which layer was what. Okay, so I can actually hide this for now. No, no. When I say I'm not an artist, I mean it. I'm not an artist, as in my priorities aren't to create art. My priorities are to tell stories. I'm a storyteller. Two things can be connected, but the thing is, like for me, um, sometimes it's very important for you to kind of understand what the end game is in order to kind of prevent yourself from getting sidetracked. Like I could spend like I used to spend a lot of time making every detail on everything, and it's like it's pointless. You don't make a comic any better by it. It just takes longer for it to get made. And in fact, very often it's gonna end up being overworked. It's gonna end up being hard to follow, hard to read because there's too many details everywhere, and everything's got has had the same amount of attention devoted to. Like there is a fine art, I know, to being sloppy, to being to taking shortcuts because you have to, not just for the time, you have to for the readability of the thing. Because one of my big rules in a comic is the only time reader's eye should stop on a page is to admire it and never to wonder, what's happening or what follows what, or like what the composition of the image is trying to convey. Like that stuff should come inherently and immediately. And so yeah, that's why like my priorities are different from an artist. Like they're also different from like something like an illustrator because I don't never have the time to make the best piece that I can. You've never seen me put my best foot forward. You've just seen a pretty decent foot. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, Matt's one of the best friends I've ever had in my life. Oh, fuck, wrong layer. Of course, wrong layer. I can actually. So I'm going to do this group. This is why I hate layers. Yeah. Oh, I can just wait. What? There we go. Damn, that's a whole lot of stuff in that layer, huh? Hey, Earth and Sky. This one has tons of layers, right? I mean, I could just do a pro gamer move and just flatten this whole thing and just go like that. I mean, I just work on the flattened version. Won't be the first time. Yeah, okay. Alright. Alright. So I'm gonna do that. Edit, copy merged. Edit, paste. Alright. Because I can't even state it enough how much I dislike having a lot of layers. Yeah, so the idea is kind of she's washing out the black out of her hair, but it's taking shape of Laura, who has by this point become a very toxic personality in her life, and this is the story. This is the chapter in which they break up. It's gonna be uh, rough. Yep. Yeah, of course, there's illustrators, but not every illustrator is trying to get the character to emote. They're just trying to make a good illustration. Again, priorities are different, you know. I am a storyteller, you know. I'm trying to capture the heart and soul of a character over and over and over and over again. Like, not just capture it once, but hold on to it and fucking hold on for dear life. It's like you're following these characters through a story, and in every panel they have to feel alive, they have to feel invested, they have to feel like they give a shit about everything that's happening to them in the comic. An illustrator is more interested in making singular images that are, you know, a perfect representation of their own skill set. How well they can do the thing is how much they get paid. How much they get recognized for their quality. And so the priorities are different. I don't have the luxury of um, making just you know good looking stuff and having the time to actually finish it in a way that I can, because again, my priorities are completely different from an illustrator's. And when I say illustrator, I mean illustrator as in not comic illustrator, as in a comic artist that just draws but doesn't write. I mean an illustrator. For a lot of comic artists, we rarely have the time to do our best. And when we do, it tends to be for like a vanity project where we kind of, we're like, oh, look how good I can run, but admire it. It's like, yeah, it's cool. Often those vanity projects, though, we tend to get into our own little mindsets where we start writing them. And unfortunately, in our early attempts, it's always going to be that feeling of I can draw, but writing's not all the way there. That was me with Ravine. Ravine was an absolute vanity project where I wanted to make like the coolest, best looking fantasy comic. But the problem was I said coolest, best looking. The story, there was a good story there, a really good story in Ravine. The problem was I was too green behind my ears to make it. I didn't know how to deliver the world building and character building at the same time, and that unfortunately, backfired. The comic never really felt cohesive in the first volume. In the second one, it took off. It, I figured it out, but it was too late. People dropped the book after the first one, and the book died. And the thing is, like, I blame it on nobody but myself because, well, I have overstacked my stat points into art for that comic, and was a little late to realize that for that specific build, I also needed writing. Yeah, unfortunately, no free respects in the middle of a comic. Yeah, could have used one. Oh, what's the time? Okay, I got about half more hour. And then I gotta get to actual work. Imagine working. Funny thing is, like, this is actual work. It's just, it's not urgent work, so it's not actual work, so I get to enjoy it. But the actual work is always like, now you're on a deadline. Well, okay, technically these are self-imposed deadlines, but you start slipping on those, and it's kind of like a cheat day on a diet. It's like just this once, never goes back on the diet again. That's why I got fat making comics. Comics, kids, not even once. Oh yeah, there was a whole lot of love in Ravine. Problem was, like I said, like you look at the first volume and it reads like a D&D manual. Like I have been so obsessed in telling people about this world that I'm creating and how big and epic and magnificent this story is. Like, look at all these characters, these events, these names that happened back in the past. Meanwhile, the actual current characters carrying the story are like, can we get going now? Can we do the thing? And I'm like, shh, 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 shh. I have to explain to everybody how magic works in vast details. They need to know that, okay? It's like fucking terrible, you know. But you know, you live, you learn, and I learned. No, it's the same mentality. It's just when I'm streaming, it's kind of me mentally unwinding, you know. It's chill, it's fun. But when I'm actually working, then I will usually put on something to listen. Then I listen to other people, or movies or shows or whatever. And that's when my brain kind of like when I'm writing, that's 100% focus. When I'm drawing comics, that's kind of shut off brain. Put yourself on autopilot and just let the comic happen because the skills are already there and like I know what I need to draw. Then it's just the physical act of just drawing through it. Mm. Yeah, kind of mustard. Yeah, you're right. Mm. Mm. What do I do to focus while writing? I put some instrumentals. There's a bunch of stuff on YouTube where you could just find like a writing music, right? And it's pretty good stuff. Like it's kind of neutral, so it kind of keeps your brain focused while you're writing. Like it's worked wonders for me. So I do recommend it, at least trying it. Yeah, Croatia is a wonderful country. If it has one major flaw, it's the fact that there's like there's not really a lot of tourist content, you know. When you come to Croatia, you come here because the food is good and the beaches are very clean and the skies and the nature is very pristine. But it's kind of not, it's not something where you're gonna be like, stop everything, Croatia. It's wonderful, but it's wonderful for the type of people who enjoy simplicity, right? And I happen to be that kind of a person, so it works for me. But yeah, it's not gonna be everybody's thing. Yeah, it might just do that. Like that's kind of when I listen to that stuff, like I can sit down and I can write for hours upon hours. Like I will crank out like 10 novel pages within a few hours of just listening to that stuff. See ya, Fer. I'm actually going to be wrapping it up too, because I'm actually quite hungry. Gonna, but I'm gonna be. I think I'm gonna be streaming here for the next few days and see how it works, because I like it. It's nice and clean and chill. So thank you all for being here. I'm gonna be off now. Gonna get some work done. But first,